Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's now focus our attention on the County of Kiambu, and the Senate Public Accounts and Investments Committee has directed the Auditor General to undertake a special audit on Kiambu County after it emerged that the county allocated more than 2 billion shillings on functions meant for national government in the year 2017-2018 financial year. Akisa Wandera now reports on how Kiambu Governor had a hard time explaining the county's financial statement to the senators.
Kiambu County could have used 973 million shillings on coordination of state functions, 180 million shillings on administration of the statutory benefits for retired presidents, 591 million shillings on state corporation advisory services, and 58 million Kenya shillings on the South Sudan advisory services. These were part of the audit queries on the Auditor General's report.
So again,
Members of the Senate Public Accounts and Investments Committee were baffled by these figures.
Is it Kiambu County government that is financing State House, that is paying statutory benefits for retired presidents, that is supporting the peace process in South Sudan, that is supporting free primary education? This cannot be a qualified opinion.
Governor, you have been let down by your team. You need to work on your team.
This cannot be anything else unless proven otherwise, but just a conduit of absolute plunder and theft.
Ironically, Governor Waititu too was appalled by the financial statements from his own county.
What I've just seen is also new to me, honestly. I think it's a misuse of template of the national government, because nobody could have assumed that we could have such figures in our county.
The senators, however, did not buy Waititu's explanation.
Does it mean, Chair, that Kiambu County government does not have its own template 9 years after devolution?
Doesn't this information come to your office? Do you ever get time to look at it?
The money is allocated to the coordination of state functions, and the South Sudan peace process ruffled feathers among the senators as they sought to find out why Kiambu County would take up functions not under their jurisdiction at the expense of the public.
That there would be some peace process of South Sudan. I don't even think we have been able to fulfill the many cases of insecurity and violence in Kiambu County.
This is really embarrassment to the government when the account of State House is under Kiambu County and the Auditor General has not captured this.
Would want to know if this money that was allocated to these State House affairs and other issues, is it still there?
Governor Waititu denounced the financial statements in question and instead blamed it on his political rivals.
The people who have been giving wrong information through blogger, through social media, that are supported by some politicians with an interest in the campaign that will come in 2022, to me, I'm not worried.
Meanwhile, State House Chief of Staff Nzioka Waita disowned the Kiambu County statements in a tweet, and I quote, "Just for the record, at State House Kenya does not share any budgets with the county government of Kiambu," end of quote. Interestingly, in its audit report of Kiambu County, the Office of the Auditor General had given Kiambu County a qualified opinion, implying that the county's use of public funds was satisfying. The committee disagreed with the Auditor General's opinion.
The source of truth of financial transactions in government institutions is IFMIS. And where there's going to be a variance between IFMIS and financial statements, in my view, that cannot be a qualified opinion.
The senators stopped the grilling session until a special audit is conducted on all Kiambu County accounts and a report tabled before the committee within 45 days. Akisa Wandera, KTN News.
Great, so let's start having this conversation with Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu. Governor, thank you so much for joining us on KTN Prime.
Yeah.
So explain to Kenyans why these allocations somehow ended up in your budget.
First and foremost, this budget is for the year 2017-2018, which was done by the previous government. because we were elected in August, and we started 2017, and we started using this budget in November 2017. So it's actually not us who did this budget. It was for the previous government by Governor Kapogo. And what we can say very sincerely is that this report is from the Auditor General. And from the queries from the Auditor General, this information about the national vote heads, the ones that have just been mentioned, are not queried by the Auditor General because there are no money spent and they are not part of our vote heads. We have 14 vote heads which are very, very clear, and the auditor's report is like now from this the whole report. It is up to page 16, but from page 17 there is an annexure which is, according to us, a foreign document. But since it came from the Auditor General, we said we cannot just remove those pages because we knew very well that the report with the Senate and even the COB might be having the same pages. What, according to us, we think what happened is that this is a system-generated document, and anything could have happened, a mistake, or maybe somebody could have put it in our document just to portray our county as being irresponsible or not having any way to explain. But what I want to make it very clear to Kiambu residents and to Kenyans at large is that these vote heads are national, for the national government. And again, money is not just spent without any checks and balances through the controlled budget. All the monies that are spent by the county government are passed through the controlled budget, and according to Article 228, it is very, very clear that the controlled budget cannot approve any payment that has no appropriation in the budget. So it is very clear, even when we are going to that meeting of this morning, to us that was not supposed to be an issue, because everybody can see that the vote heads do not belong to our county.
Governor?
The items are national items, and again, if you look at it, there is nothing that connects those vote heads with the county.
Governor, it's interesting that you say the document that found its way to the report is foreign. The Auditor General, who was present today, indeed confirmed to the committee that the financial statement containing these controversial expenditures that you're talking about were actually submitted to his office by your county.
What I can only say, honestly speaking, is that we got this document the way it is from the Auditor General on 8th of March, and when it came to us, they had these 5 pages annexure that are fallen, and according to me, and you can see it, this whole other budget report is signed, and these particular annexures are not signed. So there is no way
of relating. Kenyans, this money was not spent?
No, this money, in fact,
I mean, this is close to 2 billion.
No, what I want you to know, honestly, is that it was not part of our budget. We have not spent anything that relates to that, free education or even monies for the Sudan or what. So, according to me, this was just a normal mistake. And if it was not a normal mistake, somebody might have inserted such a document in our budget. But what I also want to tell you, honestly, you can go through our budget and see that the pages that contain our approved budget are signed, and these particular annexures are not signed. So according to me, it was not actually even supposed to be an issue, because everybody can see it is fallen. It is not our vote head. It is for the national. And again, they just needed to confirm with the COB whether they have paid anything from those votes. And again, how can they pay without us having any appropriation? So according to me, honestly, we must accept that sometimes maybe something can happen that that maybe is a mistake, because this
So
is a system generated from Treasury. It is not us who have generated that.
Governor.
It is system generated from Treasury, and if there are 5 pages in this whole file that do not belong to us, honestly, there is no way that you can force it to be, or somebody can say, even the Senate, honestly, they can clearly see that there is our budget. This is a document that is inside the bundle of the file, but it's not part of the budget.
Okay.
Otherwise, the Auditor General could have queried, and it is not part of the questions that we are going to answer in the Senate.
Governor, let's
Yes.
get this straight. Was
Yes.
this money spent on these items or not?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Can you account
and
for that money, close to 2 billion? If it wasn't spent on these other items, then
Yes.
what was it spent on?
What I want you to know is that we cannot be associated with that document. It is just a document in the bundle that came from
So what you're saying-
from the Auditor General, and we have nothing to do with those items. We have nothing to do with that expenditure. There were no money spent in the Kiambu County in those fort heads. So according to me, it will just be taken as a foreign document in our bundle of the file.
So-
And I want to tell you, Madam Reader, that so many things happen in Kiambu. Some that rarely happen to other counties. But
Okay.
according to me, this is something that can be verified.
Okay, so let me
If
ask
you want to verify, just call, maybe even tomorrow, just call the COB.
Okay.
Just ask a simple question. Were this money spent in Kiambu County?
So basically what you're telling
Because
me-
that is where the money is.
Okay, Governor,
the
so-
money is not in our account
Hold on.
in Kiambu County.
So basically what you're telling me is
Yes.
that the Senate committee sat today and discussed a foreign document.
Yes. And we were supposed to go there to discuss the queries that were asked by the Auditor General. The Auditor General had not talked about that document.
Okay.
So according to us, it was there, yes, in the file, but since the Auditor General had not queried about the document, we thought it is just an annexure.
So what you're
that
telling
the Auditor
Kenyans-
yeah,
What you're telling Kenyans directly is that no money was lost in the county of Kiambu.
exactly. No money was spent in the county of Kiambu. And I invite anybody to verify with the COB where the money is. The money is not in our safe, so that we just spend.
And you can account for the almost 2 billion. You can account for it.
Not even that. It was not part of our allocation, so we had nothing to do with it. We have nothing to do with that document and the allocations in that document. And I'm repeating it to you that this budget was done by the previous government. It was actually not ours, but we don't want to lay any blame that there was any.
You're already
any
laying
ill
blame by
motive.
saying it's not yours.
Yes, but I must say, because I know that we are the one who implemented the budget, and we never spent that money, so I cannot blame anybody in the previous government that they had any ill motive, because honestly speaking, this is a document that came from the Auditor General, and according to me, it is an IFMIS system generated, and maybe somewhere, for maybe the one who operated the system could have made an error when producing the document, and maybe, and according to me, honestly, mistakes happen.
Okay.
But
All right.
what I want to tell you, honestly, if it was done mischievously, I want to tell you it is also not funny to happen in Kiambu. So many things happen. You saw the other day.
Okay.
Somebody,
I
a
need to wrap
lady was just arrested with a GK vehicle.
I need to wrap
and
this up,
a
Governor.
number plate, and when it happened, some people put a lot of pressure that she was arrested with 26 million, another man 25 million, 6.5 million, bringing to the governor to buy a house, and it was all lies. We have a lot of people out there trying to tarnish my name, but I want to tell them and the people at large that I'm committed to whatever I'm doing for the Kiambu and what I promised them, and I will not be detracted by my detractors.
All right.
Yes.
Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu speaking to us on KTN Prime this evening. He says, A, no money was lost. The items that somehow found their way in their budget were mischievously in the file were mischievously put in there. He's still trying to figure out. But he says anyone and everyone is welcome to do an audit of the accounts of the county of Kiambu, and probably you'll realize that no money was lost. These items were not